One of the really exciting parts is how people even know that this whole thing exists. So TerraCycle has a very, very unique awareness system in it. One area is what we do, and one area is what our partners, our brands, do. With what we do tremendous amounts of publicity. We're written about maybe 7 to 15 times every day of the year, somewhere in the world. If you just go to Google, you'll see what we mean. And we do that by having 8 full-time people in our staff that just focus on generating media because we don't want to pay for advertising. This way we can get huge amounts of exposure. We have our own TV show, I'll show you an example of that in a minute, and then brands do a lot of really cool things as well. So first I want to show you what this looks like in the media. Here's the number of articles that were written every year about the company. You can see how it grew. And I want to show you a quick little video that shows you how this looks like in the media itself.
It all started with 2 enterprising and eco-minded students from Princeton.
For these pioneers, green doesn't just mean caring for the earth, it also means cold, hard cash. It's a big win. It's good for the planet, good for the economy.
TerraCycle, whose motto is, there's no such thing as garbage.
Meet garbage mogul Tom Szaky, CEO of TerraCycle.
Tom Szaky is the founder and CEO of TerraCycle. He's got a new solution for all of that waste.
O húngaro Tom Szaky, ele inventou novo conceito na reciclagem de materiais.
They basically found a way to take all these billions of wrappers that would otherwise end up in a landfill and then upcycle it into a new product.
Upcycling, it's simple. It's finding a way to reuse or convert something that you can't throw into the recycling bin.
Upcycling, you're saying you're going to value every aspect of the waste. Its shape, its color,
And it's got a kind of fun pop art look to it.
Everything from plastic bottles, cookie wrappers, even wine corks.
we also do this all over the world in 11 countries.
Atualmente, a TerraCycle já atua nos Estados Unidos, Canadá, México, Brasil, Suécia, Inglaterra, País de Gales, Escócia, Irlanda do Norte, Turquia e Israel.
Embalagens de salgadinhos, refresco e chocolate são transformadas em produtos bem diferentes.
Conseguiu transformar uma coisa dura, pesada, que
This goes on for a little while, but you get a little taste of what it's like. The other really exciting things is brands are now using the TerraCycle logo as a logo for recycling what was non-recyclable. This logo today is on 15 billion packages per year, and will be, by the end of 2011, on 50 billion packages per year. Just these are some American examples. You can see examples in Brazil where every potato chip bag now has this on it, explaining that the potato chip bag is no longer garbage, and here's how you can solve for it. Or everything from Argentina, Mexico, and so on with Tang. You can go to the UK, every Kenko bag has this on it now, explaining that the Kenko package is no longer garbage, and so on. Many brands have also seen tremendous value by turning their advertising from buy more to, hey, you can do great things for the environment, and actually it works for them very well. So I want to show you some commercials from around the world that have leveraged what this system is like. Here's an example in the US.
Capri Sun, what do you do when the fun is done? With Capri Sun, you can upcycle. Empty Capri Sun packs can get made into something new again. Capri Sun is teamed up with TerraCycle to help you make a difference and raise money for your school. Go here to find out more. Respect the pouch. Respect the planet.
So that's a US example. Let's go maybe south. Here's an example from Brazil. If you're Portuguese, I'll explain in English what they say. So she's saying, prepare, do, drink. And this is her brigade box, and she's going around Brazil collecting garbage from her friends. What's important here is Tang is about $1 billion a year brand in Brazil. They took 100% of their advertising, and instead of saying, tastes good, buy more, this is what they're now advertising for 2 years in a row, and only this. Explaining that you can engage and you can do good things for the environment. I'll show you one more. We're going to now go to Europe, and this is Johnson & Johnson in the UK.
Welcome to My Pack Waste, a new scheme from Johnson's to help you reduce your waste and raise money for good causes. All you have to do is collect your empty Johnson's baby wipes packs, register online for a prepaid postage label, and send your packs to our friends at TerraCycle. They'll turn them into stylish, eco-responsible products. And for every pack you send in, money will be credited to a charity of your choice. Sign up today and wipe out waste with Johnson's.
So it shows you another example. There's many others, but I wanted you to show what this whole global infrastructure is looking like. TerraCycle has its own TV show. You can tune in on National Geographic Channel, where each episode you will see how we take a type of garbage and make it either by recycling it or by upcycling it, solve the entire concept. If you visit North America this year, you'll be able to read a major magazine that we're launching called Upcycle, where each magazine, sort of like our TV show, explains how you can do this all at home. If you like Facebook, in 4 months, 4 weeks, you'll be able to play anywhere in our world our Facebook game, where basically you run around. I can't show you what the city looks like, it's confidential, you'll see in 4 weeks, but you can go around, you clean up the city, and you can purchase through cleaning up, you get points, and then you can buy recycling centers you can put around the city to help you clean up the city faster. Sort of like a Farmville, but meets garbage. I want to show you some other examples to really just give you the inspiration around this. Here's an example where Kenco, a major coffee brand in the UK, together we developed this bus, we made many of them, and they went to all the zoos, all the animal zoos in the UK, and they went around showing people how can you upcycle your waste. So you went in the bus, you tried some coffee of course, but then you were given all this garbage, and you were asked, help us design new products. And ideas that came out of this were absolutely unbelievable. I want to show you another one here. This is with Target. We do this now in a number of countries, but we make them this bag. This bag is the first bag in the world that's made 100% from plastic bags. We just take them. You can actually make it at home. You take a wax piece of paper, you put plastic bags, and another wax piece of paper, take an iron, put a little weight on it, and iron it, and then you have a fabric. You can sew that fabric. You're nodding, so you know exactly, right, how this works. It's very simple, but that's not the special part. The special part is actually this thing with People magazine. So we came up with this idea of how do you leverage looking at something differently in the world of magazines. Now magazines, the covers are very, very glossy, very shiny, which makes it very hard to recycle. The inside page is no problem, but the cover is not easy. So we said, well, why not take the cover off, flip it inside out, tape the edges, now you have an envelope. And they printed, you can see on the inside front cover of People magazine and some other magazines, a shipping label. So now you make an envelope from the cover, fill it up with garbage, in this case plastic bags, tape the top, and put it in the mail. With People magazine, 41,000 people sent in 3 million plastic bags. And every 3 months they do something, a promotion like this. Now, upcycling can go all over the place, from high-end fashion, that's the CEO of Nestle Canada wearing a jacket we made for her, and so on. Even our office, if you come visit, every single aspect of our office, we have about 100 people who work with us in the US, all made from garbage. All the desks are all the tops of doors, everything looks like garbage. Or is garbage, doesn't even look like it. Then we said, well, okay, it's great that we can collect through offices, through schools, through individuals, through our mail-in program, but what about collecting at big stores? So now, for many, many different stores, they're putting in collection boxes. So all the theaters in Canada, Mexico, and the US are now getting candy wrapper collection boxes. Body Shop in 7 countries is putting collection boxes in for cosmetic waste. L'Oreal in 5 other countries, and there's many more. Colgate with toothpaste tubes and toothbrushes into every Walmart in Mexico, and the examples just keep going. So that was a really interesting innovation. We thought it was cool because now we were bringing garbage collection to big stores. And the next question is, how do we take this really big? When you go really big, you always go to Walmart. So this is the Walmart version of that. This is a system that is 5 meters wide, 2 meters tall, 1 meter deep, and collects every type of garbage we collect. And then every month we go and add new areas that you can put in different types of waste. In the next 3 years, every Walmart in America will have one of these in front of the store so that you can collect waste, and all the money that is generated will go to local schools in that area. We already are starting in the Northeast, and it's slowly rolling out. They're very expensive. I mean, they're not expensive, but they're very big, so that's why it's taking 3 years to do. Now, the last thing I want to finish with is, how do we actually convert the garbage? Because I talked about, the theoretical, talked about how we collect, how we promote, but we tried at the beginning, when we first did our worm poop, we were bottling everything ourselves. We had 150 workers, we had bottling equipment and everything ourselves in Trenton, New Jersey, which is, an inner city. I picked Trenton just because it was near Princeton and it was a good place for a factory. Now, as we started expanding, we tried to make everything ourselves, and the problem was that we weren't experts at sewing, we weren't experts at making shoes and umbrellas and shower curtains, so very quickly, the amount of money we were able to make on every product became negative, and that's impossible to do business when you lose money on everything you do. So what we did is we reinvented how we do our supply chain. When we are presented with a type of garbage, we have two teams. We have a team of PhD scientists, a team of plastic scientists, paper scientists, organic scientists, and then we have a team of upcycling designers. So first, take a potato chip bag as an example. We have invented now 5 different ways you can convert a potato chip bag. One way is you can make it into a branded fabric, something like this. This is branded fabric. So that's one example of what we can do with a potato chip bag. The second is we can shred it and compress it into a board and make something like this, a podium. The third is we can pelletize into a plastic and make it into a plastic. The fourth is we can make it into plastic wood. And the fifth, which I'm most excited about, is we can make it into something like a t-shirt, a woven plastic. So we've invented these 5 material formats, and then we go to the world's biggest companies, manufacturing companies, and say, would you like to use garbage in your product? Now, if you talk to a company, I'll give you an example. I don't know if you know the company Sanford. They make the second biggest pen company in the world. They make a product called Sharpie. It's a very famous marker in North America. I don't know if they have them here or not, but it's a marker. Basically, when we talked to them, they said, well, the least exciting polymer we can use is new material. That's the least exciting material because nothing special, nothing environmental. The next most exciting is recycled plastic. But I can buy that from anybody. There's a lot of recycled plastic out. What they were really excited about is how do you recycle the non-recyclable? So in 2 months, everywhere in America, you'll be able to buy the world's first pen made literally from old pens. That's an example of how these products work. Or the shoe I showed you is made by Timberland, big shoe company, and they use our innovation, our design, and then they make the product. So the way we make money is we sell the garbage once we collect it. So we get paid to collect, that's one way. The second is we sell the garbage to a company who can use it as a raw material, and they typically save money. That's the most beautiful part, is that they always spend less than what they were buying before because I don't have the same costs. We don't have to take petroleum out of the ground. We don't have to convert it. There's all these costs we don't have to do. And then they typically pay a royalty for the use of the logo and so on. And that's how the whole process works. What is amazing about that is we can very quickly pick up many different types of garbage and very quickly create supply chains for conversion. Even things like, I'll give you an example. 6 weeks ago, one of the world's biggest tobacco companies called and they said, you know, one of the big problems when people smoke, they throw the cigarette on the ground, or if they put it in the garbage, there's no solution. So we said, no problem, we can solve cigarettes. So we looked at a cigarette. What is a cigarette? A cigarette is tobacco, ash, if you burn the tobacco, the paper, and the filter. Those are the 4 things that make up a cigarette. 3 of the 4, the tobacco, the paper, and the ash, are organic. You can compost it, no problem. The filter, well, that's a challenge. The filter, it turns out, when our science team looked at it, is just plastic. It's just extruded plastic into very, very thin strands, and then made to look like a cotton, but it's not cotton, it's pure plastic. So what we do is we collect the filter, we separate the organic from the plastic. The organic goes to composting, and the plastic is made into something like a plastic bench. And we make the inside of the bench the cigarettes, so from a safety perspective, you would never actually be touching the old cigarette plastic. So anyway, just to sort of summarize, this is what upcycling looks like. So this is where you reuse every